Dude,
OnlyFans link in my bio. Even he's right
the
again.
most loyal listeners. Um, so as a kid, I just not really. I wasn't like very. I was always a shy kid. So um, growing up socially, I was just not. I don't really interact with anybody. I just whenever I like around or something in the public, I just feel like I'm stuck in my shell. Just pretending like I'm just going to be part of the part of the conversation, just to be blending in, something like that.
It was pretty much the same.
Yeah,
My parents used to call me an observer because I was always like quiet, just because I like to listen.
That's very true.
Yeah,
I remember that shit actually.
yeah, just like they always called me observer. It wasn't
I
even the
don't remember.
fact that I was like antisocial or something like that. I was always like a quiet kid.
That is true.
Yeah, and he was the complete
You,
opposite.
yeah. I was literally immediately. I was like, because we went to the same school, so I was just like, "Hey, want to be friends?" And then that
Yeah,
literally, like, that's the kind of person I was, and he was just like, he was probably like, "I got nothing better going on," so
yeah.
that's how that
Well,
went.
I'm sitting next to a kid who literally eats my glue stick, so yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I remember that.
Yeah.
That fucking kid. For reference, it was me. No,
Yeah. This whole
imagine all
time.
these years later.
This whole time I was blaming on some other kid. It was you.
I'm the greatest framer of all time. I was kind of the opposite of Jake, which he can attest to, where it was just like I talked to like everybody, including teachers and like kids, because I wanted friends, but I had none. So figured the best way to do that was just to talk to every kid I knew. Now this kind of worked out well for me, but also like not, because it just made me friends with a bunch of idiots and like people you don't want to be friends with later in life. So it's just like, oh, yeah, I was nice to one guy once, and now I'm your friend. Especially when you have like that kid that after you hit with a dodgeball just cries perpetually, and you're just like, I'm his only friend. Lie. So yeah, that's kind of how that worked out for me. I was always talkative and just like never stopped. Like never. It's crazy. Like I could talk about anything and like things kids shouldn't talk about. Like I'd be like, "Did you hear about the prime minister?" And I was like 12. I was like, what the fuck was I on? I was on some demon shit for sure." And like, yeah, there you go. That's my fucking life story.
What? Sir, I don't know if I can hire you for this job.
So this is a Wendy's. Uh,
Sir, I asked if you could flip patties all day.
no. The answer to that is clearly no.
Yeah, cause as a kid, I wasn't like a ideal kid to be honest. When I went to school, half of the time I didn't went to school. Like I went to school, so I entered the school gate. I walked into my classroom, and like 80% of the time, instead of sitting in my class, I'll just turn around and go back home. So I was bunking school every day since I was in fifth grade. So I did that for like 6 years. Like my family, so my parents used to like one guy is holding the legs and the other guy is holding hands. They are carrying me to the school. All the way I'm just cursing and fighting them. I don't want to go to school. And most of the time my neighbors used to have like few people had to drop me off the school, right? And then I come back home again, right in 5 minutes. So I used to bunk a lot, like 90% of the time. Every month my parents used to like principal used to call my parents. They have a meeting. I'm sitting there with them and they are like, if he continues like that, we have to kick him out of the school every month. So I was
expel.
just like good kid. I so I got like lots of beating from my mom. It was fun though.
What?
Was this in elementary school or high school? I feel like elementary school, right?
Like before until fifth grade.
Okay.
So elementary school, yeah.
Yeah. High school, yeah, I wasn't like dumb kid or anything like that. I still got like the highest mark possible in the class, right? Most of the time, even though I wasn't attending, but I didn't like to go to school. So I fought everyone and everyone. Sometime like beat someone. If I have something in my hand, like a stick or something, a baseball, like cricket bat, I can just run behind the people if they try to.
Bro, you're a menace.
I was a
Dude,
menace.
we were menaces in different way. I just talked too much, but you were beating the shit out of people and getting carried off to
This
school
guy's like a
you were
next
in a
level
mental
menace.
asylum.
People like in my like my neighbors and everyone used to fear me when someone asked them to like drop me to the school. They're like, these guys gonna go crazy anytime, you know.
Was
Bro,
a whole villain.
you weren't on
Okay.
demon time. You were just possessed.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was just a demon, the devil.
Nice.
Until I was in seventh grade, then I
أعوذ
started
بالله من الشيطان
growing.
الرجيم.
Stay back. No, but
Yeah,
yeah.
it happened few times. My cousin started saying those things as well, throwing that holy water and all.
What the fuck?
Just to be
Hey,
sure, just to be sure.
yeah, that didn't happen for me and Jake. We were not
So
getting sprayed with
that's what
holy
I'm
water.
saying. So that I was so evil when she ties or something like that. I'll be like giving her like a cheeky smile and all that, devilish smile and all. I'll be laughing all
There's-
the time.
You were doing this at like age 4.
Not four. Like
I was doing like
before,
Riz faces.
before I was
No.
like a teen. So
Faces.
Damn.
since
You
like
you you had
4
the
to 10,
worst puberty upbringing ever. Like I can't imagine you just with all those hormones going through and just like that kind of demon time.
and
Nuts.
in primary, like elementary, right? When we were playing in during the break time, so I was
Recess.
running and other kid by mistake he put like his leg and hand in front of me when I was running. So I hit my head on the pillar of the school. It was
Ooh.
like concrete pillar. So it opened up here, right? So I had to take like some stitches and all instead of crying and all that shit. I grabbed that guy, and hit him into the same pillar as me. And his full forehead opened up. So he had to take stitches and all. So
So
the
you
school,
were an angry child.
yeah, the school had to call her like his mother and all. So his mother scolded me. Then my principal took me to the office, and he had this like 2 feet long acrylic, like glass acrylic round scale, and then I got a good beating from that on my calves and my thighs. There were some marks, but yeah, I it never bothered me. I was still smiling. He
Did
just
you
gave me
switch
one, and
school?
I was still smiling. Then he got angry and he got me a few more.
Did you switch schools or something during that time?
Hmm?
Did you like switch schools during that
I was
time?
kicked out of one. At that school, I like pushed my principal and he fell into the muddy area when it was raining and all.
What?
Why?
What did you? Why?
Like if you want to drop me to school, you have to know that
He
there's a
said,
risk
if you
involved.
want to drop me to school, I drop you.
There's a risk
It's
involved.
Bro,
If
not
I
the
get
kiss
something in my
ride, it's the
hand, you
drop
are in
off.
trouble. So I was like, see, right
you
now
would
I'm an ideal kid. People give my example, like be like that guy. He's so obedient, he listened to everyone. But when I was a kid, if you ask my parents or my cousins, my sister siblings, they'll be like, this guy, like to this day my cousin and everyone fear me because they know me since I was a kid, right? So when they used to come over, most of the time when we are playing, I lose my shit in like a split second. If I have a cricket bat, broom in my hand, whatever, my cousin get the beating.
So they beat
I
you up
run
in the
behind them.
beginning. they beat you up in the beginning, and then later on, when time moves on, you start to become like intimidating to them.
So right now, I'm the like ideal kid. But if you go like before I was 15, it was man, people used to fear me. They still do because I was that kid. But
Did
now
you
I'm
also eat
a
glue
nice kid.
sticks?
Hmm?
Did you also eat glue sticks? I need to know this information.
What?
The glue sticks, like
Glue,
PVA glue sticks, did
glue
you eat them?
sticks.
No. Okay.
Okay.
Since you didn't
No,
fall that
no
far.
ordinary shit. No
So
ordinary
he
shit.
wasn't quite as much as a menace as that other kid we knew.
Yeah.
Damn.
Never like straight face or anything. My sisters are older than me, right? So I never did homework. So at like after some point, teachers are like, it's not worth it to talk to this kid. So they'll be like, go to the your sister, bring her here right now, because we are in the same school. She was like, I was in second, she was in eighth. So I just go to the her class and I'll be like, my teacher is calling for you, and then teacher start to scold her. So my sister never liked that we were in the same school because they were scholar. They were ideal and scholar student, and I was the opposite. So it was for me it was fun, but for others it was pain in the A to handle me, to drop me to school, my teachers, like other friends and everyone.
You're the youngest in the family.
Yeah.
Uh,
And youngest are the like you say they get the most love and all, but I got the most of the beating as well.
yeah, but you do get picked on too. The
No one
youngest
picked
gets
on
picked
me.
on.
We do.
No.
No, I'm joking.
Now I
I'm kidding.
changed. No, I changed my personality. That's why.
Were you ever social with like anybody at school besides
Me?
like getting beaten up in it? Yeah, like no.
Like at any given moment, any day, I had at least couple friends at my house. If not 10, 20 at my house, at least couple friends every
What,
day at my
Bro,
what
house.
about
I don't even know
school?
20 people, bro.
Yeah, for real.
I knew everyone.
I'm
Like
not observant. Don't
I
really.
was there for my parents and everyone, but when it comes to friends, I had lots of everyone. Everyone was like friend of me because everyone knew me, right? They see me every day get beaten by teacher. So everyone knew me.
That's one way to make friends is get your shit kicked in, but
Yeah.
I've never once
And
The
in my life
attention.
saw someone get beat and I was like, I want to be his friend.
yeah, for
I want to
real.
be. I want to be with
Yo,
those
that's the
guys.
guy, bro.
to this day, I have my friends. One I made when I was 4, 5, or 6. We are still friends. I have the same friends since I was like I started school.
So you're saying that if we next time we see you and I beat the shit out of you, we'll be better friends?
Hmm? No, I beat the
Would be
shit out of
close.
them, and we are still friends. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, well, okay, well that's not gonna happen. So,
That time I had a cricket bat and all, right?
uh,
This time I'll just have my 9 mm.
Yeah, the
yeah,
100% discount.
shit.
Nah.
Well, uh, like me and Jake didn't get into like too many crazy fights. At least while we were at school. I don't know how he was outside of school. Maybe Jake was just like riding those streets dirty. But like, um, there's like only a couple ones that I was ever a part of, and like once, pretty much one time every time I moved schools, right? Which I moved only twice, elementary schools. So it was like Fitch Street, and then or first was Ross, and then Fitch Street. Yeah, that's all. And only ever had that happen once, and like so I was never in trouble for any of those things, except for like Ross was probably the big ones. That's where I got in the most trouble, and that's because like a bunch of wackos went to Ross for some reason. Like Ross was just filled with street kids and like drug addicts from the womb. It was crazy.
Dennistown kids.
Yeah, which if anybody knows anything about Welland, Dennistown's like not the area to be in.
It's the
I mean, it's
ghetto.
kind of improved. It's kind of improved now, I will say. Like you can kind of go there and meet nice people. But back when we were kids, like just don't step foot there because you literally you just walk in and you're getting sold drugs. Like it was hilarious.
It's funny.
I
That
mean,
was the place I moved to when I moved to Willand.
yeah,
Because
and you're just
I
like,
moved at like
nah.
6 years old right into the ghetto, and the only fights we ever gotten was in like self-defense. I was never a person to go and start fights.
Yeah,
If I got into a fight, it was always because some other freaking sketchy kid would be the one starting the fight on me.
exactly.
But
Yeah,
it got to a point where it was like my sister and my brother had so many friends, so nobody would mess with our family that much.
yeah,
So it's kind of like I could walk through all of Dennistown and be fine, just because like everybody knew who we were.
yeah. I never really had to walk through there, but I had a couple buddies from there. Like obviously you were one, but you weren't living in Dennistown when you
Yeah.
went to Ross, I don't think.
Yeah.
Or at least when we met.
Mhm.
But no, like the only same thing for me. Like the only time I ever had to fight was like for like pretty much self defense, which was like the first time I got my shit kicked in by like a grade 7.
Mhm.
But I got my crap beaten out of me by grade 7 while I was in like grade 2. I was just like dying on the ground almost, and then walked my ass onto the school bus and went to daycare. And they're like, "Yo, why is this kid got like throat punches? Like, why is his neck purple?" And I'm like, can't breathe, like dying. And yeah, it was hilarious. Um, and then like the other time was like grade 3, and this is when I like moved too. Was at the end of grade 3. Do you remember that kid Dylan something? He was like grade 4, held back or whatever. And then like he was like
No.
picking up my brother on the bus home. And then, like I just cracked, like I like broke his jaw and his rib. Like I fucked that kid up. Like it was unwhole. It was like freaking wrestling match, except I was the Undertaker and he was just some nobody from something like that they bring in just to get squashed. It was bad, and then I got in so much trouble for that. I remember going to the principal's office and they're like, "Yeah, so that other kid's really messed up. So it's you that's the problem. So we might have to suspend you." And I just remember my dad just like ready to throw a chair. Like my dad was gonna throw a chair at the principal, and my mom was like, "No, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that." But yeah, so like really the only things for me. But like I always grew up bigger than most people, so it wasn't really an issue. And plus, I was like overtly friendly with everybody. It was like only at times where it was like somebody picking up my brother was like when there was an issue.
Mhm.
But otherwise, I was pretty much friends with everybody in our grades. Even like the kids that nobody wanted to be friends with, and then like kind of worked out for me later in life. Like even like I still got friends like that. Like even through high school, it was like guys like that I was friends with that nobody wanted to be friends with. But like now they can like hack banks and stuff, so it's like sick.
Pretty much.
we, we actually had a kid. We had a kid get in trouble in grade like 7 for like writing a list of people he wants to like hurt. Like, it wasn't murder, it was just hurt. And I was like, Jesus Christ. And the only person on that list, like, he had kids from like grade 6 and under. Like I was like, yo, what did a grade 4 do to you, bro? The only person that wasn't on that list was me. And I was like, let's go. He's like, nah, I like you. I was like, okay. And then I was like, yeah, I gotta tell the teacher, bro. And I went to like my grade 7 teacher. I was like, yo, you gotta check out this list, bro, because this thing is fucked. And like the first page was the teacher himself. I was like, oh yeah, this dude wanted to smoke. That like this kid was probably the equivalent of Quran. Like he was just on his demon shit all the time, and I was just like friends with him, so he just never. So yeah, like that was pretty much me growing up. Was just trying to be friends with everybody. Did a lot of sports, did a lot of that stuff. So like I knew everybody from somewhere, and then it was just like chill for the most part. Didn't have a ton of problems.
Yeah. Like I said, I was always just a quiet kid. And
Yeah.
we grew up around like native reserves pretty much for a long time. And, like every summer I'd be back on the reserve, but for me I kind of always had like identity crisis because as you know, Sam, it's like nobody taught us anything cuz residential
Nah.
schools, my family was in residential schools, so in turn everybody was like ashamed of our culture and stuff. So I was like growing up not knowing stuff until I pretty much reverted to Islam is when I finally like had something
Yeah.
culturally as well as religion, because it is also a lot of culture behind it.
Yeah, I didn't even know you were Native American. I went to high school. Like that's how
Really?
like little it was talked about. Yeah, no, literally, I was like, oh yeah, fuck. I thought he was like, I just didn't know what you were. You were just an
Bro,
anomaly to me.
nobody knows what I am.
No,
I get a different answer from everybody. I get Afghani, Persian,
you just,
Pakistani.
dude, you might be an alien.
Look ethnically
You're not
ambiguous.
human.
Yeah, I'm
But
out
no,
of
but like
You're not a human.
it does go like when you were like a kid, like yeah, you were just like quiet all the time, which was like chill because like I could talk for like three
Yeah.
people. So it was like, yeah, you didn't even need to say anything. But apparently, like according to our parents, me and him were like really good friends in kindergarten too. Which like I don't remember because it's kindergarten. Like who remembers that shit? But they're just like, yeah, they were the best of friends. But I don't know how.
I don't know.
If this guy never talked and I never stopped, like how were we friends?
Yeah,
All right,
and then I
bye.
was just in.
No.
I was just in like martial arts my whole life. That's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
like for
used to
me,
play like all the sports and everything. I was very active.
Yeah,
I got into contact sports pretty quick. Like pretty much as soon like I think everybody does, at least around here, does soccer as like kind of their first thing. For the most part, like Timbits soccer, Timbits kids or whatever they're called, and then like you kind of branch off from that. Like I did basketball because I was tall, and then did I did diving and swimming and everything we could really get into. And then like at a basketball tournament, like we met our first football coach, and he's like, "Why is that kid playing basketball? He keeps elbowing people in the jaw. Just put him into football." And then I went with football, and then like that's pretty much how I grew up. Was from like grade 3 onwards was playing football, like nonstop up until like first year of university. So
yeah.
because I
Oh.
chose to stop.
That was like me. I was always mediocre at every sport, but I did the most fighting, so I was better at that than anything else.
Yeah,
But when it comes to any sport, I'm like decent. Yeah, fighting's like the
Yeah.
thing I was best at.
except for shooting threes against me apparently.
Bro, I used to be sick at threes, but I haven't played in years, bro. Because I used to be
Wait,
known as like the shooter whenever we'd play. But
Dude, I'm terrible at shooting too. I don't know how I've got any more points than anybody.
yeah, that was funny.
Like for those who've never seen me, which is you two, like I don't shoot the ball like I'm
Like a
pretty
normal person.
yeah, I'm pretty spastic. Like I chest pass the ball to the net and just hope it
Yeah,
goes
bro.
in. I'm like,
I'm kind
boom.
of like that. I'm kind of like,
Dude, but I can send that thing like the whole court and hit the net just through a chest pass, but there ain't no guarantee that shit going in. Dude, this doesn't make
some
sense to
people-
me. I'm just like boom in there. And it's like I have like a ratio of like 75% of the time it's not going in. But you know.
you just like randomly throw and hoping that it hits the rim only. That's it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm aiming for the backboard and hoping I get that dead center spot where it goes boom boom and just into the net, you know. I don't go for swishes because you can't really swish with a chest pass.
Yeah.
You
Unless
gotta
you're
have to
Dwight
go up.
Howard.
I go straight.
Yeah, the angle doesn't add up.
Yeah, if I get a swish, it's just like
Yeah.
like
Somebody
it was a
broke
miracle. Yeah. But no, like funnily enough, growing up, me and Jake never played sports together.
Yeah.
You know, between the two of us, we covered like most sports you could play around here or
Yeah.
do. Like the only thing I think we didn't do was like badminton or like
Yeah.
squash.
As a kid growing up playing sports, I used to try out for like the basketball team and did a little bit of track and field. Most of it
Yeah,
I like.
yeah.
Out of all of them, I like to do the high jump. But even though that I don't know the aspects and science of it, of actually trying to do the high jump, I just like do whatever I can to just get over that pole. Get over that pole. I did a lot of volleyball at that time, like during around late elementary school and going into high school to play a little bit of volleyball, and then after that, during high school, I just stopped playing sports. I just focused on like weightlifting because they have a class there that focuses on weightlifting most of the time and less in the gym. So that's where I started to get into fitness a lot. And then I didn't get serious until like grade 11, grade 12, and then onwards. That's what it is.
Nah, I was never a track and field kid. Like you could tell by looking at me as a kid, I was not
I
a track
used to
and
run
field kid.
400 and 1600.
Yeah.
What?
See, I was a kid
What?
that
I
did one.
what? One or
Like
two for me.
yeah, you know how you could like you'd had to choose. I chose all the ones that weren't running. And then I was like, you have to choose one running. I was like, okay, fine, I'll do like the 100 and the 200.
Yes,
And I
same.
was trash every time because like I was not coordinated for running, especially after I broke my ankle. Like there was no chance of me going anywhere. But yeah, I was not going to be that kid. I was just like, give me something to throw. But you didn't do shot put until like
Yeah, like
grade 8.
yeah.
And then I just didn't do it because I was like lazy. I was like, why? I have football practice tonight. I'm good. I'll pass. And so I did the triple jump, scored first on that, and then dipped. Didn't do the rest.
I was actually I was always someone who was running too. Like I did the cross countries when they do those in school, and then I was always like a really fast kid, but I was more of a distance runner. Like I always had great stamina. But if we did like
Yeah,
100,
that's just
200, I was
another
always
term for you are made.
sorry.
That's just another term for I was made.
Yeah,
Did you guys have like a beep test or fitness test or
Mm.
something in your school
yeah.
where
That
they
was
put
by
they split?
yeah, by grade 9, not by in
Yeah.
elementary school. I actually did well in the beep test,
Yeah.
surprisingly. Which like for my size I shouldn't have. But I also cheated because what I did was I skipped the first day of the school that they test you, and then I just showed up for the second day. So all my numbers improved because they had nothing to go by. So I got 100.
Bro, I remember some kid did that. He skipped the first one, but our PE teacher didn't tell us when the second one was. So he
Yeah.
showed up on one day and there's like, yeah, we had the beep test. He's like, bro, I would have skipped.
Sorry, what were you saying?
Huh?
I don't know, but
Huh?
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 What?
No.
But like as far as doing other things as a kid growing up, didn't do a whole lot by the time like I started playing football just because like it was go to school and then football. Like obviously I had like some months off, but like I didn't have like watch a lot of the shows that kids did and stuff. Like I always remember wanting to, but I'd always leave before the good ones came on. Like I saw the shitty ones, like uh, I don't even know, like Johnny Test or something like that. Like if anybody remembers that one, but like all the good ones, like you know, you wanted to watch SpongeBob or Star Wars: The Clone Wars or something. Like I always missed them. Yeah, I had that one. That's what I grew up with. Okay, I sure. And then I'd catch the last like 10 minutes of Beyblade, and I didn't understand any of it because I'd be like, "What happened? Why is there a dragon? And why is it eating a bear? Like this seems like this fight is unfair." But like, so didn't have a lot of that growing up. Did play like a lot of cards with my grandfather, but yeah. But he also took
Like
my money,
gambling?
so huh? Yeah, exactly. No, straight up. Like it was so out of pocket, dude. Like you just get this is exactly your straight face. You would just get money for Christmas, and like my grandfather was like so out of pocket with this kind of crap. Like sometimes you'd get money for Christmas as a kid, and he's like, he'd give you two 20s, and he'd be like, or he'd give you a 50, and he'd be like, you know, I have two 20s that you could have instead of that $150 bill. And as a kid who was pretty stupid, I was like, oh, that seems like a better deal. And he would
It's a
get
lot of
10 bucks
money.
back. Yeah. So I would start with 50, end up with 40, and then we'd play remotely, and then I would just lose that money. Because he just didn't teach us how to play properly. He just, like, I probably, honestly, I probably had mega sick hands. Like, I probably had, like, royal flushes and stuff, and, like, in poker, and he would just be like, nah, you lost. I'd just lose my shit. I'd be like, oh. So, yeah.
I
Like, it's like, it's funny as a kid, because you're like, oh, man, why am I always losing? But then you grow up, and you're like, God damn it, bro, I was being serious. But it's still funny, but, like, it's, like, out of pocket as hell.
I grew up watching like The Price is Right. Whenever did
Just
you ever
like,
watch that?
yeah, but like, you know, like at least, like I kind of get it actually. Like when I was at my grandparents, I'd be watching Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune, and like you know who watches that? Old people, not 12-year-old kids.
No, like whenever you're sick and you can't even go to school, that will be the show that you'd be watching at 11 a.m. when you're at home, just
Nope.
recovering.
No, I watched Criminal Minds. I was like, let's watch these murder shows that I'm not allowed to watch. And then I remember getting scared, so scared one time because it was like 8, and I was like, nah, this ain't for me. But yeah, no, I feel you. You watch like all the shows that at 11 a.m. that you normally can't watch when you're sick growing up. And
Mm-hmm.
then your parents be like, why are you watching TV? Aren't you sick? You can't watch TV. And you're like,
You should be
what am
sleeping.
yeah, what am I supposed to do? Sleep all day? You know what was the big change for me? Was getting an Xbox. When I got my first Xbox that actually connected to the internet. Like, I remember just at one time I played way too many hours of Modern Warfare 3,
Hmm.
and I was just playing that. And one time, I was just like, I heard my mom coming downstairs. It was like 12 a.m. I was like, oh, fuck, I can't be caught playing up. And I was like, I just faked this, put the controller on it, and just
Yeah,
moved
yeah,
it. Watched you guys. You're
yes,
just like,
yeah.
what are you still doing up? I'm like, it's a movie. And like, weirdly enough, it was like, okay,
Turn
I
off
thought
the
it was a movie.
TV. Turn off
No,
the TV.
I
Pretend
just left it.
you're in bed.
No, I pretended it was a movie. That's what you do with the DS. You put that under your pillow, and you're like,
Nah.
No, no.
Not if you have bunk beds with your brother, because this dude would literally rat me out. I'd wake up
yeah,
in the morning,
yeah. My brother did that to me too at my dad's
bruh.
place.
I'd literally wake up in the morning. My mom would be like, "So, heard you were playing games." Like,
yeah, real. It was Pokemon. It was Pokemon. It was Pokemon. It was Pokemon.
bro, like, you like Game Boys too. Why are you ratting on me, bro? It does not affect
Yeah.
you.
No, you know what happened is you'd beat your sibling in like a game, and then they'd be like, "Nah, it's over for you, bro." Mom, Sam's talking to a 43-year-old on the Xbox. Bro, why?
Playing a game with a mission that you wanted to beat so bad that you ended up staying up late until you finally beat that mission.
Nah, I was too good at video games for that to happen. I could beat a mission. No, I'm kidding. I was terrible. The only time I remember, like, my life wasting away playing video games growing up was when I got Halo Reach. Because I was like, I'm going to be competitive in this game. And I actually did do MLG, which was sick. Like, I wasn't, like, crazy, like some guys were, but I was up there. And I was like, yo, look at this. Yo, is that my dinner? Sick. But yeah, no, I remember just as a kid, like I don't know how you guys started out with like gaming, but like my first thing was oh god, it was a GameCube. Played the hell out of Lego Star Wars and Spider-Man, and I don't know how my parents let us get a console after that because there was the one Spider-Man game, and you could like throw your guy up at the top of
The building?
what's the big building in New York? The Chrysler Building. No, I would take him up to the top of either the Chrysler Building or the Empire State Building, and I would just jump off and kill myself. And I don't know how my parents. And I was like, Dad, come look at this. And like, my dad came upstairs, and it was like both me and my brother's room, and I was like, watch this. And it just Spider-Man doing a backflip over and over until he splat on the ground. And then like some taxi driver would be like, "Where'd you get your license?" The back of a cereal box, and I was like, "Game over." And then my dad was just like, he didn't know whether to be like displeased or like find it funny, so he just didn't say anything. And like I only learned later in life that he found that shit funny as fuck. But he's like, I'm not sure if that's something I should have encouraged in like a 14-year-old. So then he's like, I better get him a new console. So he got us an Xbox, like an OG Xbox.
How do you upgrade you for that?
Yeah, well, he figured clearly
Massive.
that this
console.
console is not good for him. So we did this, and then he got me Halo 3. Yeah. Then my dad was like, well, kind of fucked it up on that one. Might as well get him the online one.
For me, it was when I was 6 and they got me GTA San Andreas. They did not know what that game was about. And the person, I remember, they were asking me, they were like, are you sure you want to get him this? It's rated mature.
Are you sure?
You know, they're like, are you sure you want to get
Rated
your
R,
son this?
rated
And
M
they're like,
for sure.
yeah, it's just a game.
Yeah, I remember when my dad bought me GTA 5. And we were just below that. Like, when did it come out? Does anybody remember when?
2014.
I think it's like 5 years.
2014. So how old was I
okay.
in 2014?
9 years.
I was 9 years old.
9
No.
years.
No,
ago.
9
shut
years.
up.
9 years ago, bro.
Like 14, probably.
No, just
Okay,
that math
14?
doesn't math up. I would have been like
13?
12.
12.
If I'm 22 now, it would have been 13.
Yeah,
Yeah.
13 or 12. Yeah.
13,
Okay,
14,
yeah, that's-
yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's
13.
actually not that as far off as I thought. I was judging this man for saying 14. I was like, no, it's 13, you idiot. But yeah. And I remember just going to get that game. And it was at like a Best Buy that I got it. And yeah, same thing. The cashier just like, are you sure about this? And yeah. Growing up, as soon as I got GTA 5, amazing. It's like Halo 3, end of the childhood. GTA 5, I became a man.
Because my first console was Sega. If you remember Sega's console.
Yeah.
First
Yeah.
Sonic, like the first Sonic that came out, the game, then Contra, Mario, the old ones. All the 80s game, 90s game. Boomerman and everything. I forgot Pepsi Man. There was a first game in my PC back in 2002 or 3. It was a Pepsi Man, I guess. Yeah, Pepsi Man.
See, man.
Then Road Race, Midnight Madness, the first Need for Speed,
Mm.
GTA, Total Overdose.
There's no way they let you have video games as a child. You were on too much demon shit.
Yeah, that's why I was a gamer since I was 5, 4, 5.
Bro, instead of beating your ass, they should have taken away your video games. You're the reason that they say that kids shouldn't have video games, bro.
The PC was for my sister's work. She
Oh.
was studying that thing, so I was playing when she was.
So you were just playing it while she's gone.
The first IGI as well. I had lots of game.
Dude,
Lots of games.
you guys remember when they did those like studies of like how video games encourage violence in kids? All they did was go to Karan's house and just watch this kid, and they're like, "Yep, here's the one resource we have to." You ruined it for us, Karan. You
Violence
fucking-
is fucking playing GTA San Andreas in real life.
Yeah.
Beating the shit out of anyone around it.
GTA India.
No, as a kid going into gaming, I started with the N64 with the classics like Mario Kart and Wave Race and GoldenEye. Playing with your buddies on those CRT screens where you playing 4-player and then you're staring at that one screen, and sometimes they could peek at your at the other screen where their opponents are. So
Oh yeah,
one of those things. And then I got into like the PS2. Well, actually, the Xbox was the first one, the original Xbox, and that's where I started playing Halo 2. Classic game right there. And then I didn't get exposed to online until like the PS3 360 era with Modern Warfare 2.
I
So
never played on console. Just the first Sega thingy, then never on console. I've been on PC since I know. So 20 years on PC now.
Oh, I remember when I used to get into PC a lot, but there was a time where you get to like download a lot of the demos before they actually come out on PC. So I ended up like downloading so many demos that I ended up like putting a virus in the computer.
Those different CDs you put in the PC.
Or downloading music on like a LimeWire or Kazaa.
Yeah,
Dude,
it's about time for dinner.
Remember that? I don't know if you know that. Burning CDs for free instead of like buying the actual CDs.
Yeah. Well, like it was kind of past my time of doing that, but like my dad still did it, so like I kind of got into that too.